The Chicago Blackhawks fall 4-3 to the New Jersey Devils in I was going to call this a heartbreaking overtime loss, but it really wasn't. The only reason why this game was upsetting was because it was there for the taking in the third period. And then they kind of botched it and gave up a goal with like 3.5 minutes left. And then it went to overtime. They lost to overtime. Look, heading into this game, I said on the live stream tonight before the game even started that I did not like the Blackhawks' chances tonight. It was just stacked against them for a multitude of reasons. They're coming off of an extended road trip where they played well down the stretch. Normally when you come back after a long road trip, teams tend to struggle in that first game back home. But more importantly than that, the Blackhawks were without three of their most important forwards: Jason Dickinson, who is the best defensive forward on the team; Frank Nazar, who is the second best player on the team. And then also Andre Burakovsky also missed tonight. He was a game time decision and did not play. So look, heading into this game, I warned chat. I said I did not like the Blackhawks' chances. If you would have told me before the game started that they would, go back and forth with the Devils and lose in overtime and get a point and lose 4-3, I would have signed up for that in an instant. The only reason why, again, it's upsetting is because it was there. You almost robbed him. You almost stole one. Spencer Knight almost stole one for you. Simon Nemec with the hat trick. I mean, that was a heartbreaker, man. That sucked. It sucks to lose. It sucks to lose, but I seriously do not want to see anybody freaking out about this loss. There were some people that were getting upset in chat. I haven't even really checked Twitter yet. I'm sure there's people losing their minds and being like, oh, maybe we're not like, you cannot take anything, any real true negatives from this game because of how badly the deck was stacked against the Blackhawks tonight. Like, I'm not even going to go through and like individually analyze a lot of these players, like especially the defensemen, because I felt like they battled all night. The first period was pretty strong. Obviously, the 5-on-3 really Obviously, the 5-on-3 really helps. It's a great goal from Bedard, great passing play. That helped, but I thought the first period in general, they had decent jump. They looked pretty good. But then the second and third periods were kind of just like the ice was slanted the other way. It felt like Jersey had all the legs, and every single line that the Blackhawks had tonight, none of those guys have played together at all yet. Like this season or last year, if you go down the list, it was all new combinations. And so you combine those factors with also the fact that New Jersey is playing amazing hockey right now. They have a super talented, young, fast, exciting, offensively explosive team. It was a recipe for disaster, but you got a point out of it, so you can't be that upset. They got to do something about these second periods, though. Like, the second periods are trash. It feels like every single game. I don't know what the cause of that is, because normally the performance in the first and third is significantly better. It's just so random. I need to make a video about it at some point. I just don't even know what I'll talk about in the video as like the key pain points, because it's like, why? It's so random. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Please let me know in the comments what you think leads to the lackluster play in the second, because it feels like this team is flat every other game in the second period, and it needs to be addressed. I do want to say shout outs to a couple of guys. Awesome to see Landon Slaggert get on the board. I could totally see him being down a little bit mentally, just getting sent down after playing a lot of the year with the Blackhawks last season. Nobody likes getting sent down, especially when you start the year on the Blackhawks and then get sent down. So great to see. I thought he worked hard. He played hard all night. I think everybody on the team played hard tonight. They lost to a better team, and they didn't have three of their most important forwards. I'm going to keep saying that. It's not going to be the last time I say it in this video. You were without Nazar, Burakovsky, and Dickinson. Like, this team that's already the Chicago Blackhawks I'm talking about here. The Chicago Blackhawks team that is already not loaded with talent, right? It's not. If you look at the roster compared to other teams around the league, especially in the forward group, they're not stacked. They're not loaded. They don't have a ton of depth. So when you lose three guys who have all been key contributors in their own ways on their own respective lines, And that's the thing is they all play on separate lines. It's like you took a piece out of every single line. You always roll 11-7, so it's like you basically only have 3 lines in general. You took a major piece out of each one. It's going to be hard to win games that way. So I'm really not overly tweaking, but it was good to see Slaggert get a goal there. Nice redirection on the shot from Crevier, who, by the way, I love when Louis Crevier shoots the puck. You guys know I've talked about it extensively on this channel. I'm a big Louis Crevier fan. I like it when he shoots the puck. It's not just the slap shot. He's got a good wrist shot. He's able to find the net. I would love to see him do it more. I think as this team gets better and they have more O-zone time, you'll get to see defensemen like Louis Crevier maybe shoot the puck a little bit more, but it leads to good things. And then I got to give a shout out to Sam Lafferty. He's had the toughest go of it, just sitting in the press box every single night, traveling with the team, practicing with the team, but then just constantly getting scratched for, young, more promising, real Blackhawks, as I would call them. He stuck with it. He had a decent performance tonight. Another guy that I felt like just competed, that like third and fourth line tonight. I didn't even know which line had 2 players and which line had 3. It felt like they were kind of rotating all night long. But that goal from Sam Lafferty came out of someone in chat tonight called him after that goal, Connor McLafferty. And because I had to rub my eyes after that goal, after the toe drag, forehand, backhand, beating Markstrom the way he did, I had to get the eye crusties out of my eyes to make sure that wasn't Connor McDavid. Because I was like, wait, I literally just saw McDavid do this 2 nights ago. And it wasn't. It was actually Sam Lafferty who made that unbelievable play. Sick for him. Hopefully that's, good for his confidence, good for Slaggert's confidence. Those guys needed those. So good to see that. And then, of course, obviously it's good to see Connor Bedard keep the point streak alive and score another big goal at the start. You were almost there. And I do want to take a second to talk about the tying goal from the Devils. The Blackhawks were up 3-2 with 4 minutes left. And it's like, you saw defensively, they changed their structure a bit. It was a 2-2-1. They had one guy, they had one forward, the F1, playing kind of high up the ice, and then you were parking the bus with your first layer of forwards and then the defenseman. But then they got on the puck. It was the Bedard line that was out there. The puck was in the Blackhawks zone. Then they bring it to New Jersey's zone. They had a couple of chances, didn't score. Puck gets out of the zone. At that point, instead of carrying the puck in and trying to score again, they probably should have just gotten off the ice. Because they tried to score a couple more times, weren't able to. Then all of a sudden, New Jersey's coming the other way. There was a bad pinch, I believe, too, on the play. But regardless, I don't want to see forwards out there for a minute and a half when you got under 5 minutes left and you're up a goal. It's got to be quick shifts, dump the puck in, use the forecheck, and park the bus. Like, make them beat you in some crazy fashion. Make them pull their goalie and put together a really good passing play. There should be no situation where you're up a goal with a few minutes left where the other team's coming at you on an odd man rush. That should have never happened. You should have just been flipping the puck to the corners. And I really do appreciate that this Blackhawks team plays exciting hockey. They're not just dumping and chasing all the time. Like when they're carrying the puck up through the neutral zone, they try to make plays happen. They try to carry the puck into the offensive zone. And as a fan, I'm very thankful that that's the style of offense that they're running. But when you're up a goal with just a couple minutes left, please, for the love of God, be boring. Be boring. Put me to sleep. Make me feel like I can click off the game early. Don't try, it was too greedy. I thought Bedard was out there for too long. Jack Hughes carried it into the zone, cut back. Bedard, you could tell he was out of gas. He almost fell over. It can't happen. It's got to tighten up. And then in overtime, before I go, I do want to briefly touch on the overtime. Heading in the overtime, I did not think that the Blackhawks were going to beat the Devils, right? The Devils, this is the New Jersey Devils. I said at the end of the stream, this is not a cup contender because I don't think you can win a Stanley Cup with Jack Hughes as your number one center. I think he's too soft. I do. If the Devils could just play 3-on-3 hockey, if that's what the playoffs were just 3-on-3 hockey, the Devils would probably have a dynasty. I mean, if you think about the weapons they have for 3-on-3, they're a great 3-on-3 team. And so I was not confident in the slightest that the Blackhawks would have a chance, especially without Nazar and Burakovsky, who would have been out there every other shift had they been healthy and in the lineup tonight. But something that was interesting, 2 points that were interesting from the overtime period. Oliver Moore getting on the puck, and by the way, I love the idea of him being out there just because of the speed. He's a threat, and especially when you're against the Devils, a very fast, young, speedy team. I like trying to match that with Oliver Moore. Oliver Moore can't take the puck and try to stick handle through 3 people after they win the puck off the opening draw. You cannot. Ollie Moore, love you, buddy. Love. I love that he had the confidence to go for it, but you can't be doing that. That's a lump. That's a learning moment for him, and I'm fine with that. Then the next thing I wanted to talk about was there was a minute and a half out there where the Chicago Blackhawks had 2 defensemen on the ice. It was like Matt Grzelcyk and Vlasic and Ilya Mikheyev were all on the ice together at one point, which I'm sure Jeff Blashill will be asked about it tonight. I'm sure he will lie and give the wrong answer, but I mean, tell me without telling me that you just are trying to hold on and get to a shootout, which I completely respect. Like, honestly, maybe they should have started the overtime period with 2 defensemen and just tried to hunker down and play for a shootout. Because, I mean, with Spencer Knight in net, you got to feel better at least a little bit about your chances in a shootout. I know they still got those offensive dogs like Bratt, Heischer, Hughes, 1, 2, 3 on the shootout. That's not really a dream matchup either. But I think you like your chances in a shootout a little bit better than you like your chances in overtime without Frankie Nazar and Andre Burakovsky. But yeah, that was really interesting to see the Blackhawks put out 2 defensemen on the ice at the same time in overtime. You don't really see that very often. It's whatever. It's whatever, though. Almost had it. You get a point against a really good team. You're shorthanded. You got to be happy with the points. I don't want to see any or hear any of you tweaking in the comments, please, about this loss. Do not take this loss and start talking big picture. Like, that's what was happening on stream tonight, and I was like, guys, simmer down. It's not the time for that. Right? It was like, you were massively shorthanded. You should have had no business being in this game, and you got a point against a playoff team. One of the hottest teams in the league. So no tweak. Happy with the way the guys battled. Happy with the way Spencer Knight played. Disappointed he wasn't able to get a win. He almost stole it for them. Tighten some things up. It was a great night for learning, honestly. There were so many learning moments tonight, and that's what you got to start thinking about with this young group after close losses like this. Like, yeah, it sucks, but is this team winning the Stanley Cup this year? No. So take it as a learning lesson and you move on. You carry on, you go to the next one. You got Toronto at home on Saturday. It's a big one against the Leafs. The Leafs stink right now. It's a super winnable game. And thank God this team can use a few days off. Good to see that we got, a couple days off here. Get healthy. Hopefully Berkey and Frankie are back for that game Saturday, and we move. I think that's pretty much it. I appreciate all the love and support as of late. We hit, there was a point on the stream tonight where we were over 100 viewers at once, which was my peak so far on the stream. So that's awesome. I appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out for those. Please leave a like if you enjoy the content, and I will see you guys. I have a Vaclav Nestrasil tape review video dropping tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. I'll see you there. Other than that, thanks, guys. Peace.